Hello everybody and welcome back to Vintage Thursday. So as you can see, today we've got the 550 behind us. I did say in the Christmas video that the first Vintage Thursday of the year would be fitting the correct manifold and exhaust silencer onto the 550. That silencer should come up through here. Would have put it back looking like it should. But as you can tell by the title of this video, we're actually doing something else, and the silencer is still in the wrong place. So we'll just quickly explain what went wrong and why we can't move that at this present moment. So this is our manifold. This is a genuine manifold. I said right in the introduction to the 550 that I'd got this, but I needed to get an elbow, which is what we've got here. So I ordered up an elbow, and thinking, so I ordered up the elbow and a gasket and a silencer and some new studs, thinking, now it's just a simple job, bolting it all together and Bob's your uncle. But when I set to, what I discovered was, as you can see here, if we look closely, the studs on the manifold and the elbow, they don't line up. If I'd have bolted that on, that stud into that hole, it would have shot off at an angle that wasn't right. So I thought, well, you know, why is that? Something's not right here. Perhaps this elbow must be drilled wrong. This elbow, it's not a genuine elbow, it's just an aftermarket one. And it said on the packaging, replaces MF part number, you know, the big long number, whatever it was. So I went and checked whatever that number was. Doesn't matter, I can't remember it now. So I went and checked on the online parts book, and it did indeed show this was the correct elbow for that part number. But it also indicated that a 550 during its production run had two different sorts of exhaust elbow, and this one is the later type. The earlier ones, what they have is a much taller elbow that kind of comes up to here or somewhere, and then the silencer goes on from there. But I thought, well, we perhaps better look for one of those. Those elbows no longer available and not reproduced anywhere, which is a bit unusual, because according to the parts book, this type of elbow didn't come in until after this tractor serial number, until a higher serial number than this tractor. Now this tractor is quite a late one, 1981, and there wasn't all that many produced after this one. So you would have thought far more 550s have the other type of exhaust elbow, and they would have been reproduced, but clearly not. Anyway, this is quite common on 135s and stuff, so there's thousands of these about, easy to get hold of. But I thought, well, not to worry, we can make a little adapter plate. So what we've got here is a bit of steel. So I drilled a hole through the centre of this bit of steel, tapped some holes, put some countersunk bolts to pick up the holes in the manifold, and then we drilled and re-tapped some holes to pick up the new studs for the elbow, and that then sat it vertical where it should have been, which is all well and good until we come to fit it. And what that other elbow actually does, apart from bringing it higher up, it offsets it quite a bit to one side. And when we actually fitted this, what we found, there's some oil cooler pipes running straight across here. So this was clearly not in the right place. It needed to offset a little bit to the side. So all my work that I put in over Christmas creating this little adapter thingy was wasted, and this elbow is not what should we say, not suitable for the job on, you know, on this model of tractor or this age of tractor. So this was plan A. What we've had to do, we have implemented now plan B, but it's going to take several months for that to happen, so keep your eye out. Plan B will be upcoming, but it's just not today, and probably springtime kind of thing. So there's the saga of the manifold that didn't work. So here we are, on to the subject of today's video. What we are looking at is a bit of a jigsaw puzzle. What it is a fully complete original pickup hitch off of a 550, which we were looking for. Very lucky to find this. Picked this up at an auto jumble just after Christmas. It's got everything we need, almost everything we need. It's got all the carrier plate, the hook, the hitch carrier, where we two, a drawbar and a hook, anti-jump plate, all the lifting bars, the hooks, the catches and everything, all the bolts, studs and longer pins that we need. It's all there. So like I say, very lucky to find this. I was expecting to end up with kind of a 135 type and put it on, because it would have fitted, just wouldn't have, it would have been a bit too early for the tractor. But what we've got, it's a, you know, this came off a 550. Just, I couldn't say no. When I seen it for sale, I had to have it. There was no question. I was never going to walk away from that. The chances of finding one of these is pretty slim, so I had to have it while it was there. So another option I was considering, you can get a conversion kit to convert the drawbar frame we've already got on here into a pickup hitch. It includes all the lifting bars, basically everything we've bought, but it's all an aftermarket kit. All the suppliers seem to be out of stock of those at the minute. I may have bought one by now if they were available, but I was hanging back a little bit. A friend of mine has got, he bought one. He bought the whole lot because he didn't have anything. He bought the belly plate and the drawbar carrier and everything, and he said it's not the best fit. So that's why I was hanging back from buying one. Fortunately I did, because we got the proper job. So what we've got to do, that drawbar doesn't belong to the tractor, that belongs to a 35, so that's got to go back to the tractor. We're going to take off the drawbar carrier, because a friend's having that. He's having that and the belly plate to go on his 135, so that will help bring the cost of the pickup hitch kit down, because they're not cheap, they are expensive, but like I said, couldn't say no. So that's got to go, and then we've got to bolt the hooks basically onto these bolts here, put the rods on. Let's just get on with it, shall we? Done enough talking for now, let's get on and do something. So next job, we've got to put these are the carriers for the hooks. Now when he supplied it, when I bought it, the guy said it comes with all the fixings. Here's your studs. The problem I could see, I couldn't see enough clearance on this bottom one for the hook. Which way around does he go? That way around. So when he pivots back, it's very tight. There's not enough, I couldn't see enough room for a nut in here. So I looked on another 550, I looked on the parts book, and I looked on the 165, and they all showed bolts. So we've got some slightly longer bolts to take account of the extra thickness. So we're going to do away with the studs he supplied, and we're going to use bolts to keep them on. But the studs, there's two studs up here, they are long enough, so we'll use those again. So we need to adjust this pinch bolt here. We've not got enough clearance underneath. He's just touching the end of that rod is touching here, so if we just unslacken that, we can pull that up a little bit. That's better. So this pipe here must be a hydraulic return, because we've got all the spool couplings this side and a trailer pipe here. Unless that's a return and that's a trailer pipe, I'm not sure what's what yet. Either way, it's in the way, it's got to move, so we'll just have to let it dangle down out the way for now, work out exactly what it is, and then make a bracket to keep it out of the way, unless we've got enough slack in the pipe. Move it back to the end, that get in the way still. Right, we'll just drop it out of the way for now. Think about that in the future, where that's going to go. Hopefully that can just sit there, won't get in the way, because these are right down now, so it's not going to crush. We'll have to sort that out another day. Then we'll get a split pin in there before it springs and squashes me fingers. Looking good. Right, looking good so far. All moves as it should. Time to get the hooks on. So the hooks held on by these little springy clips, which are probably going to disappear across the other side of the yard in a minute. Well, I was expecting more of a fight than that. I thought they'd be tricky. There we go. That was the bit I was least looking forward to. Right, so now we've got both of our hooks fitted. Next job, we've got to pull that drawbar out, because like I said, that doesn't belong to the tractor. Pull the two pins out, drop that carrier plate out. What we're going to do, there's no point changing the belly plate because it's exactly the same. So we'll just make sure the one up on there is tight, and then leave it there, because there's no point swapping, making work for no good reason. And then get the other carrier plate onto that long pin at the back, which is going to be the heavy bit. Ooh, a little bit loose. Back ones are tight, or front ones, whichever way you look at it. Just these two under the PTO shaft. A little bit slack. I think while we're here, take these two nuts off, put our plate on there. You might notice we do have a bit of a weep coming out the PTO shaft. All it's really done since it came is PTO work. It has done several hours, and it's highlighted a leak we've got here. So it needs an oil change anyway. It is weeping a little bit on the filter, up and underneath just in front of this drawbar carrier. So we'll get a new filter, get the seal, change the oil at some point, just to try and stop that little weep. Oh, that bit fits. So here we go, all finished. We've left the drawbar on because, like I said, this is doing some work. It's pumping water with the PTO shaft. That's why we know it's got a leak. So I haven't put the hook in, put the drawbar in because it's an old tractor. It's the only one in the collection that's actually doing a little bit of work at the minute. So when I said at the start that I found a complete hitch, I didn't quite. There should be a little knob on here that you reach through from the back window to release, so you push it away from you to release the catches, and that's missing. But that don't really matter because we can make one. So let's go make one a minute. Okay, so here we have a bit of nylon rod. So it's 35mm diameter and 35mm long. So what we're going to do now, turn this into a nice little ball. So there we are, one ball. Now that hole, that's just a M10 thread, just so I could hold it in the chuck. That is a little bit small for the handle on the hitch, so we'll have to drill that out just a little bit bigger before it'll fit on. But came up quite nicely. Just a little polish at the end, just to make it nice and smooth. And that worked out quite well. So here we go. Final touch just going on. There we are. Looks complete now, doesn't it? I got a feeling that's a teeny bit small, but I've got nothing to compare it to, and it feels about right, and it's better than cutting hold of the naked end. So there we go. Job. Oh, hello. So there we go. Job is complete. Really pleased with it. It does appear on this channel that I've got a little bit of an obsession with pickup hitches, and I have. So there we are. Another one fitted. Really pleased to do it. Regular viewers will know we do the recommending of somebody else's vintage video at the end of the Vintage Thursdays. What we're going to do today, I'm going to recommend you to go and check out Mr. Clarence the Fud Weasel. He has just completed a very interesting 3-part series on multi-power. I've been waiting until he's finished before I recommend it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put over here, I'm going to link video number 1. So what you need to do, you're going to need to watch video number 1, subscribe to him, and then carry on and watch videos 2 and 3, because he has done an excellent series on multi-power. And by the time you've watched all 3, you will learn a lot and you will know how multi-power works. So this tractor's got multi-power, and it's one of the reasons I bought it, because of the multi-power gearbox. And I don't know how they work. I've never been in one, but I've learned a little bit from watching those. So here we are. Go and click on it here. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.